Good morning, friends. Good to see you. I hope you are excellent today. Welcome to a new week. Welcome to the spring ahead. Welcome to the West Tennessee Dave Twitch channel, live to you right now. And later on a VOD on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you prefer. Good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to cover a bit of ground in actual chapters in the Bible. All right, today we are going to cover 10 chapters of Scripture. And, but we are actually going to be skipping quite a lot, so I wanted to preface that. We're going to read about the first just 9 verses of Exodus 25 and skip all the way to 31, because 31 kind of gives us a recap of what happened in the last 6 chapters. So let's give a little quick background of where we are in the story. Moses, all the people of Israel are out in the desert. They're at the base of Mount Sinai. Moses has climbed the mountain. He has just received the 10 Commandments. And let me explain that one afterwards, Knox. Let me explain that one afterwards. Moses and all the people are around the mountain. Moses has gone up. There's a cloud covering it, and God has descended in the cloud and is speaking with Moses and giving him instructions. He has just received the 10 Commandments, and he's going to receive more instructions on what to do. So the first part began with law. Today, we are going to be getting basically a blueprint or engineering plans for how God wants to live amongst the people. And there's actual buildings and structures and processes in place that he wants to make this all work. So that's what he's giving to Moses today as we read. All right, so without further ado, let's start, and then we'll skip. Let's take a sip of coffee before we do. We haven't really gotten to the red calf part of the story yet. That'll kind of be as we come, so I don't want to like too much spoil it, but we'll talk about it afterwards. So here it is. And let's go. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to bring me their sacred offerings. Accept the contributions from all whose hearts are moved to offer them. Here is a list of sacred offerings you may accept from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen and goat hair for cloth, tanned ram skins and fine goat skin leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, onyx stones and other gemstones to be set in the ephod and the priest's chestpiece. Have the people of Israel build me a holy sanctuary so I can live among them. You must build this tabernacle and its furnishings exactly according to the pattern I will show you." Okay, now we're going to skip quite a few things here. Oh no. Ah. And we're getting there. Oh, you guys. You have quite an imagination. I love it. All right. Here we go. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I have specifically chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, giving him great wisdom, ability, and expertise in all kinds of crafts. He is a master craftsman, expert in working with gold, silver, and bronze. He is skilled in engraving and mounting gemstones and in carving wood. He is a master at every craft. I have personally anointed Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, to be his assistant. Moreover, I have given special skill to all the gifted craftsmen so they can make all the things I have commanded you: the tabernacle, the ark of the covenant, the ark's cover, the place of atonement, all the furnishings of the tabernacle, the table and its utensils, the pure gold lampstand with all its accessories, the incense altar, the altar of burnt offerings with all its utensils, the wash basin, its stand, the beautifully stitched garments, the sacred garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garment for his sons to wear as they minister as priests, the anointing oil, the fragrance incense for the holy place. The craftsman must make everything as I have commanded you. The Lord gave these instructions to Moses. Tell the people of Israel, be careful to keep my Sabbath day, for the Sabbath day is a sign of the covenant between me and you, from generation to generation. It is given so that you may know that I am the Lord who makes you holy. You must keep the Sabbath day, for it is a holy day for you. Anyone who desecrates it must be put to death. Anyone who works on that day will be cut off from the community. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but the seventh day must be a day of Sabbath rest, a holy day dedicated to the Lord. Anyone who works on the Sabbath must be put to death. The people of Israel must keep the Sabbath day by observing it from generation to generation. This is a covenant obligation for all time. It is a permanent sign of my covenant with the people of Israel. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and earth, but on the seventh day he stopped working and was refreshed. When the Lord finished speaking with Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave him the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, written by the finger of God. When the people saw how long it was taking Moses to come back down the mountain, they gathered around Aaron. "Come on," they said. "Make us some gods who can lead us. We don't know what happened to this fellow Moses, who brought us here from the land of Egypt." So Aaron said, "Take the gold rings from your ears, from the ears of your wives and sons and daughters, and bring them to me." All the people took the gold rings from their ears and brought them to Aaron. Then Aaron took the gold, melted it down, and molded it into the shape of a calf. When the people saw it, they exclaimed, "O Israel, these are the gods who brought you out of the land of Egypt." Aaron saw how excited the people were, so he built an altar in front of the calf. Then he announced, "Tomorrow will be a festival to the Lord." The people got up early the next morning to sacrifice burnt offerings and peace offerings. After this, they celebrated with feasting and drinking, and they indulged in pagan revelry. The Lord told Moses, "Quick, go down the mountain. Your people, whom you brought from the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. How quickly they have turned away from the way I commanded them to live. They have melted down gold and made a calf, and they have bowed down and sacrificed to it. They are saying, 'These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt.'" Then the Lord said, "I have seen how stubborn and rebellious these people are. Now leave me alone so my fierce anger can blaze against them, and I will destroy them. Then I will make you, Moses, into a great nation." But Moses tried to pacify the Lord his God. "O Lord," he said, "why are you so angry with your own people, whom you brought from the land of Egypt with such great power and a strong hand? Why let the Egyptians say, 'Their God rescued them,' with the evil intention of slaughtering them in the mountains and wiping them from the face of the earth? Turn away from your fierce anger. Change your mind about this terrible disaster you have threatened against your people. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You bound yourself with an oath to them, saying, 'I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars of heaven, and I will give them all of this land that I have promised to your descendants, and they will possess it forever.'" So the Lord changed his mind about the terrible disaster he had threatened to bring on his people. Then Moses turned and went down the mountain. He held in his hands the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. They were inscribed on both sides, front and back. These tablets were God's work. The words on them were written by God himself. When Joshua heard the boisterous noise of the people shouting below, he exclaimed to Moses, "It sounds like war in camp." But Moses replied, "No, it's not the shout of victory, nor the wailing of defeat. I hear the sound of a celebration." When they came near the camp, Moses saw the calf and the dancing, and he burned with anger. He threw the stone tablets to the ground, smashing them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf they had made and burned it. Then he ground it into powder, threw it into the water, and forced the people to drink it. Finally, he turned to Aaron and demanded, "What did these people do to you to make you bring such terrible sin upon them?" "Don't get so upset, my lord," Aaron replied. "You know yourself how evil these people are. They said to me, 'Make us gods who will lead us.' We don't know what happened to this fellow Moses, who brought us here from the land of Egypt. So I told them, 'Whoever has gold jewelry, take it off.' When they brought it to me, I simply threw it in the fire, and out came this calf." Moses saw that Aaron had let the people get completely out of control, much to the amusement of their enemies. So he stood at the entrance to the camp and shouted, "All of you who are on the Lord's side, come here and join me." And all the Levites gathered around him. Moses told them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each of you take your swords and go back and forth from one end of the camp to the other. Kill everyone, even your brothers, friends, and neighbors." The Levites obeyed Moses' command, and about 3,000 people died that day. Then Moses told the Levites, "Today you have ordained yourselves for the service of the Lord, for you obeyed him even though it meant killing your own sons and brothers. Today you have earned a blessing." The next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a terrible sin, but I will go back up to the Lord on the mountain. Perhaps I will be able to obtain forgiveness for your sin." So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, what a terrible sin these people have committed. They have made gods of gold for themselves. But now, if you will only forgive their sin, but if not, erase my name from the record you have written." But the Lord replied to Moses, "No, I will erase the name of everyone who has sinned against me. Now go, lead the people to the place I told you about. Look, my angel will lead the way before you, and I will come to call the people to account. I will certainly hold them responsible for their sins." Then the Lord sent a great plague upon the people because they had worshipped the calf Aaron had made. The Lord said to Moses, "Get going, you and the people you brought up from the land of Egypt. Go up to the land I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I told them, I will give this land to your descendants. And I will send an angel before you to drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Go up to this land that flows with milk and honey. But I will not travel among you, for you are stubborn and rebellious people. If I did, I would surely destroy you along the way." When the people heard these stern words, they went into mourning and stopped wearing their jewelry and fine clothes. For the Lord had told Moses to tell them, "You are a stubborn and rebellious people. If I were to travel with you for even a moment, I would destroy you. Remove your jewelry and fine clothes while I decide what to do with you." So from the time they left Mount Sinai, the Israelites wore no more jewelry or fine clothes. It was Moses' practice to take the tent of meeting and set it up some distance from the camp. Everyone who wanted to make a request of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. Whenever Moses went out to the tent of meeting, all the people would get up and stand in the entrances of their own tents. They would all watch Moses until he disappeared inside. As he went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and hover at its entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. When the people saw the cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, they would stand and bow down in front of their own tents. Inside the tent of meeting, the Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Afterward, Moses would return to camp, but the young man who assisted him, Joshua, son of Nun, would remain behind in the tent of meeting. One day Moses said to the Lord, "You have been telling me, 'Take these people up to the promised land,' but you haven't told me whom you will send with me. You have told me, I know you by name, and I look favorably on you. If it is true that you look favorably on me, let me know your ways so I may understand you more fully and continue to enjoy your favor. I remember that this nation is your very own people. The Lord replied, I will personally go with you, Moses, and I will give you rest. Everything will be fine for you. Then Moses said, If you don't personally go with us, don't make us leave this place. How will anyone know that you look favorably on me and your people? If you don't go with us, for your presence among us sets your people and me apart from all other people on earth. The Lord replied to Moses, I will indeed do what you have asked, for I look favorably on you, and I know you by name. Moses responded, Then show me your glorious presence. The Lord replied, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will call out my name, Yahweh, before you. For I will show mercy to anyone I choose, and I will show compassion to anyone I choose. But you may not look directly at my face, for no one may see me and live. The Lord continued, Look, stand near me on this rock. As my glorious presence passes by, I will hide you in the crevice of the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand and let you see me from behind, but my face will not be seen. Then the Lord told Moses, Chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones. I will write on them the same words that were on the tablets you smashed. Be ready in the morning to climb up Mount Sinai and present yourself to me on top of the mountain. No one else may come with you. In fact, no one is to appear anywhere on the mountain. Do not even let the flocks or herds graze near the mountain. So Moses chiseled out 2 stone tablets of stone like the first ones. Early in the morning he climbed Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and carried the 2 stone tablets in his hands. Then the Lord came down in a cloud and stood there with him, and he called out his own name, Yahweh. The Lord passed in front of Moses, calling out, Yahweh, the Lord, the God of compassion and mercy. I am slow to anger and filled with unfailing love and faithfulness. I lavish unfailing love to 1,000 generations. I forgive iniquity, rebellion, and sin, but I do not excuse the guilty. I lay the sins of their parents upon their children and grandchildren. The entire family is affected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generations. Moses immediately threw himself to the ground and worshipped. And he said, O Lord, if it is true that I have found favor with you, then please travel with us. Yes, this is a stubborn and rebellious people, but please forgive our iniquity and our sins. Claim us as your own special possession. The Lord replied, Listen, I am making a covenant with you in the presence of all your people. I will perform miracles that have never been performed anywhere in all the earth or in any nation. And all the people around you will see the power of the Lord, the awesome power I will display for you. But listen carefully to everything I command you today. Then I will go ahead of you and drive out the Amorites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Be very careful never to make a treaty with the people who live in the land where you are going. If you do, you will follow their evil ways and be trapped. Instead, you must break down their pagan altars, smash their sacred pillars, and cut down their Asherah poles. You must worship no other gods, for the Lord, whose very name is jealous, is a God who is jealous about his relationship with you. You must not make a treaty of any kind with the people living in the land. They lust after their gods, offering sacrifices to them. They will invite you to join them in their sacrificial meals, and you will go with them. Then you will accept their daughters who sacrifice to other gods as wives for your sons, and they will seduce your sons to commit adultery against me by worshiping other gods. You must not make any gods of molten metal for yourselves. You must celebrate the festival of unleavened bread for 7 days. The bread you must eat must be made without yeast, just as I commanded you. Celebrate this festival annually at the appointed time in early spring in the month of Abib, for this is the anniversary of your departure from Egypt. The firstborn of every animal belongs to me, including the firstborn males, from your herds of cattle and your flocks of sheep and goats. A firstborn donkey may be bought back from the Lord by presenting a lamb or a young goat in its place. But if you do not buy it back, you must break its neck. However, you must buy back every firstborn son. No one may appear before me without an offering. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but on the seventh day you must stop working, even during the seasons of plowing and harvest. You must celebrate the festival of harvest with the first crop of the wheat harvest, and celebrate the festival of the final harvest at the end of the harvest season. 3 times each year, every man in Israel must appear before the sovereign, the Lord, the God of Israel. I will drive out the other nations ahead of you and expand your territory, so no one will covet and conquer your land while you appear before the Lord your God 3 times each year. You must not offer the blood of my sacrificial offerings together with any baked goods containing yeast, and none of the meat of the Passover sacrifice may be kept over until the next morning. As you harvest your crops, bring the very best of the first of the harvest to the house of the Lord your God. You must not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. Then the Lord said to Moses, write down all these instructions, for they represent the terms of the covenant I am making with you and with Israel. Moses remained there on the mountain with the Lord for 40 days and 40 nights. In all that time he ate no bread and drank no water. And the Lord wrote the terms of the covenant, the 10 Commandments, on the stone tablet. When Moses came down Mount Sinai carrying the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, he wasn't aware that his face had become radiant because he had spoken to the Lord. So when Aaron and the people saw the radiance of Moses' face, they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called out to them and asked Aaron and all the leaders of Israel to come over, and he talked with them. Then all the people of Israel approached him, and Moses gave them all the instructions the Lord had given him on Mount Sinai. When Moses finished speaking with them, he covered his face with a veil. But whenever he went into the tent of meeting to speak with the Lord, he would remove the veil until he came out again. Then he would give the people whatever instructions the Lord had given him, and the people of Israel would see the radiant glow of his face. So he would put the veil over his face until he returned to speak with the Lord. Whew. All right, that is our reading for today. Okay, so let's pause. Let's take a breath. Let's take a all right, so Knox says he's a Catholic, right? And so he's asking about the burning bush. Was it a natural psychedelic? Heard a funny story about the burning bush. But it's kind of like way off topic. So what are the Lent dates? It starts on Ash Wednesday, which was like 2.5 weeks ago, I think. And it goes through Easter, which is, I think, maybe the first Sunday in April, maybe the second this year. It changes each year. Yeah, and Catholics don't eat meat on Friday. Tradition going back about, I think, 1,500 years or so. All right, today's reading, and we skipped over a lot at the beginning, but like I said, it's a lot of blueprint for the engineering of the tabernacle and all the things in it, including the Ark of the Covenant, where there's the mercy seat, all these oils and linens and everything that they're supposed to make. And then he crafts out 2 people that are kind of going to be the overseers to do this. And then, while this is all happening, the people are all at the base of the mountain, not on the mountain, but the base. There's 2.5 million people there. They're camping in the wilderness, and Moses, who was the leader, is on the mountain for 40 days. So you're out there camping, and this guy has like gone off on a wilderness adventure for 40 days. And you're like, well, I don't know if he's coming back. You know, maybe he got struck by lightning up there. Who knows? I know it's quite a camping story, right? I mean, they all have tents. Um, they have all this gold and jewelry because the Egyptians gave it to them, too. Like they're carrying all their belongings with them. They're camping with everything, right? So they probably have. I don't know if they made wagons at this point. It's hard to say that they had wagons in place for all their stuff. I don't know if they're carrying it. I mean, this is quite a thing, but just their hearts just get so restless. And I think that's so common of us. Man, if there's anything that's more common than that is the restlessness and impatience of how we live our lives these days. All right. I mean, they're camping, and most of us, like, I'm going to guess that most of us that are listening to me here haven't camped for 40 days in a row, much less these people have done it for over a year now. You might have camped that many days. I've camped that many days in my life. Camping, complaining, camping. I mean, you're in a tent in the desert. Man, um, camping when it is super hot out now. The desert's different, right? The desert is kind of an interesting place. It's going to be super hot during the day. It's probably very arid and not humid. I have camped in some really hot, humid days in Tennessee, and it is miserable. I would be complaining. Uh, and I was complaining, and it was like 2 nights, but like you just can't get comfortable. It's so hot. But in the desert, it's going to be dry, so it's going to be super hot. It's going to be sunny. You're going to have to figure out shades. You might go into your tent, but at night it's probably going to be actually pretty cool. So that's at least going to be easier to sleep. Um, it, all that said, yes. So it's it's not a story of punishment, right? I mean, it's literally a journey. They're on a journey. So they've left Egypt. As they left Egypt, they come to the Red Sea because God has led them there, and they're kind of like hemmed in by some walls around the Red Sea in this place where they can kind of see it. So then they walk through, and they're now in. And I wish I could pull up a map. I'm gonna pull up a map. Just gonna look up at a map at some where this actually is in space and time now, right? I don't even know what this area is called. So there's this area between Egypt and the land of Israel. Um, that they're kind of wandering in. Um, so I guess it's part of Egypt, current Egypt. So I think Egypt borders Israel. Like there's two different little Gulf strips around the Red Sea that they're kind of wandering in. Anyways, so they're wandering in this area. It's a very desert area. It's not like the land of Israel, which is going to be a lush, fertile ground. Um, and they're trying to get to this place, but God is trying to teach them some lessons along the way. And it's not supposed to take so long, right? It's probably about a year of time. They've gotten the Ten Commandments, they've gotten the law. Moses has received it. They've told the people this. But while they're in this, like, they're stationary for 40 days now. They've been moving at times to traveling, and it takes a while to move 2.5 million people and all your stuff and all your flocks and herds. And so they're moving through this area. Sometimes there's water nearby, sometimes there's no water at all. It depends. Like there's a lot of different terrains that they're traveling in. But they're traveling towards the land of what will be known as modern Israel at this point. And God's trying to teach them a lesson, but right now they're stationary for 40 days so that God can speak with Moses and give them the instructions of how this group is supposed to live. And now he's saying, we're going to build this, basically this holy sanctuary for me. It's this tent that there is set up for God where all these furnishings are going to be in, and then you guys are going to carry that as well, right? It's going to take the resources you currently have to build it. You're going to build this thing for me. I'm going to dwell there. That's where you're going to come and meet with me. Hear my instructions. I'm going to go before you, but you're going to carry all this stuff because they're walking. They're like nomads. He's treating them like nomads right now. They're not at their final destination, so they can't really build full-time shelters. So they're camping, and they're at this place for 40 days, and they're like, man, we're getting impatient. What's the deal? We don't know what's happened to Moses. When we saw him go up the mountain, it was all stormy and lightning clouds. Maybe the guy struck dead. I don't know. But we need somebody to lead us. They don't want to just wait patiently. And how much does that look like a mirror? How often do we want to wait patiently for things? When we're in a season of transition, how fast do we want to get out of it? How fast do we want to get out of a season of transition because it's awkward and we just want to get to the right place, the place that we think? And it's like, we'll do anything in our own power to get there. And that's what these people did. Make us gods. Let's get somebody else to be the leader, basically. Let's get somebody to lead us into the future of what we're going to do. And they're like, and Aaron's like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, what? I can see why Moses was pissed off at Aaron. He's like, dude, did you ever see me ask people for jewelry and throw it into a fire and it magically comes out like a golden calf? Come on, man. Come on. Like, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You can't. I mean, he is so lividly mad. And I would be too. Aaron's like, I'm in the right place. They're talking about me. He's guy. And then, like, we're gonna make these festivals to like, we've bowed down and worship a golden calf before. We bowed down and worshiped some gold item before. we haven't done that stuff. Moses has always gone back to God. What do you want? Each step of the way, every step before the plague. What do you want to do, God? Okay, here's the next one. And God told them, and then they did that thing, right? Aaron, you know, Aaron just does exactly what happened at the beginning of the Bible as well with people, and man, do we do this just as well. And these are the places we have to look at ourselves and say, man, we're no different than them. It's the place that we need to work on in our lives. Moses confronts him and says, you let the people tell you what to do? You let them get so out of control that you made him? He's like, well, he basically just points the finger at somebody else. Just like what Adam did when Eve gave him a bite of the apple. And just like what Eve did to the snake, we just take no responsibility for our actions. We point the finger at somebody else. And we don't look at ourselves as the problem point. Somebody comes after us and we blame somebody else. Ooh. Man, it's hitting us in the face today. Most of the time in life, you don't have to look very far for the problem source. It's just. I heard a guy say once, you can travel as far as you want in this earth. You can go to, if you're an American, you can go to like the farthest remote places in Africa to try to escape your problems. But here's the deal. You've packed it in your baggage. It is your baggage. It goes with you wherever you are. You can't escape it. You have to deal with it. It's yours. It doesn't just go away because you travel somewhere else. You have to deal with your stuff. And we just see people. We just see humans. It feels better on a beach, he says. It probably doesn't feel as good in the desert in a tent. You're right. Probably not. I'd prefer to be on one of those little huts on the ocean in Bora Bora dealing with my baggage. You're right. I would. That's my own personal desire. But, it is what it is. So, that said, so they got the stone tablets. Moses smashes them. He was so mad. He has to go back up the mountain. So now he's going to be up there again, getting these things written again. But God says it's time to move out. So they actually are going to move out, and they are going to go. They're going to go start moving towards the land the promised land, which eventually will become the land of Israel as we know it. But it is this land that's lush and fertile that can handle all these people. So they're starting to travel there, and we see this super interaction with God and Moses. Like, they have a great relationship, and Moses, he is humble. Like, he's mad at the people, but he always goes back and intercedes that God won't be angry with them. God won't destroy them. He's not selfish. He doesn't want to just start over with him. God just says, like, look, I'm wiping them all out. I'm tired of them. And Moses feels the same way. But he feels the same way at times. He's like, I didn't birth these people. They're yours. You deal with them. But when God shows that he's going to not be kind to them, Moses, like, no, be kind to them. Like, it's like a weird, like, he feels like he's polarized with his thoughts on them. But he's like, they're your promised people. If they're your promised people, I see them as your promised people, even though they're stubborn and stiff-necked and don't listen. just like be kind. And I think the same is true for all of us. Like, we're stubborn, we're stiff necked, we don't get it, we have our baggage. God, be kind to us, be merciful to us. Like, if anything, you should always pray that over people. Be kind and be merciful to us, God. Just like Moses did. He gave us a great example to just call out for that, no matter where somebody is in their life, that God will show his mercy and favor on them. Okay, I'm done yapping about today. Man, it's been a week. So yes, we have the golden calf today that magically comes out of a fire. You know, you just throw gold in and magically a cow comes. Knox asked about a red calf today. So the red calf is kind of a mysterious is kind of this mysterious thing. In general, there was a special sacrifice that they were supposed to use a red heifer for I think typically for their yearly sacrifices. So the red calf, the red heifer is what they're referring to there. This was a calf grown in Israel during that time frame, and they're still growing it today because they hope, and this goes way into the future of the storyline, but they hope that someday they'll rebuild the temple and restart sacrifices, and eventually they need the red calf to do some of the sacrifices they want. We will get into some of those later, but I don't know if we're going to read all those stories. A lot of that would be in Leviticus, which is the next book. We're not there yet, but it's not very much story, it's very much law. And so most of Leviticus we're going to skip, which is nice because it's a great read. If you like law and you like blood and you like to learn about, you know, pus and mold and sores on bodies. I mean, it was truly at that time a huge stepping stone in how people understood how to deal with people. Yes, there's lots of theories on those things. The Art of War chapter of the Bible? No, it's not the Art of War. It is, so it's called Leviticus, right? So today, at the very end of the story, we had the Levites go and kill their brothers and sisters and anyone that they saw worshiping the golden calf, right? So they started to try to quench the plague that God was going to send to those who worship the golden calf, because it was totally against the rules. So these people, they're like, hey, you bowed down to some false god, you're not part of us. They went and killed them. And because they were from the tribe of Levi, they had the righteous anger of God at this moment, because they followed the instructions Moses gave. They became the tribe that became the priest then of all of Israel. We haven't gotten to this. So now there's going to be this new instruction book of what the Levites, that's why it's called Leviticus, these are the instructions that Levites, the tribe of Levi, are now going to do. So when they get into the promised land, and so these are all, I'm telling you in advance, the tribes are going to live together. You know, it's tribal community concept. They're going to live together. They're going to be in portions of lands. The tribe of Levi are going to become priests, so they're going to be the religious figures, and they're going to be the ones in charge of doing the sacrifices that are required going forward, to atone for the sins of the people. And so it's really a book of instructions for that specific tribe and what they're supposed to do on a daily basis. They are not going to get their own land. They're going to be separated and be stationed in everyone's land to be, I mean, it's kind of like what you would call pastors or ministers or priests today in the different Christian traditions. They're going to be the religious figureheads of their groups, and they have different instructions, right? If you go to a Catholic church, the priests do certain things that the common people don't. Even the pastor at a Protestant church is going to be the one that preaches. It's not that the regular person gets up there and preaches. So, all that said, that's what the book of Leviticus is. It's not really much of a story at all. It's really a book of rules and regulations that they're supposed to follow for that group of people. And as we said, we're reading stories. So this story today showed a little bit of the future, and I'm giving you a little bit more of the story before we get there, because you're asking, and that's great. Because we're impatient. We're impatient like the Israelites. We don't want to wait 40 days or 40 nights for the rest of the story, right? Give me the story. I want to be in the promised land. Let's go. Anyways, all that said, good to see you guys this morning. Thanks for being here. Thank you for your questions and interaction. I love it. I'm glad we get to do this. I'm glad you are here on the Spring Ahead day. I hope you got your clocks reset. An in-betweener Lent story. Yeah, no, it's good to ask about questions, right? And when we get to a section like today, like we skipped 6 chapters, basically, or yeah, like 6 or 5 or 6 chapters of this story, because it was all retold at the beginning of chapter 31. And again, it's engineering blueprints. It's not really a story. It's literally God giving engineering blueprints. Go back and read it if you want. It's great reading material. I mean, I don't know about you. Some people can read forever. Some people can read and fall asleep. And that's me. So yeah, some of you might not have actually had a time change depending on where you live. There's some little portions of our country that don't have time change, and that's nice for y'all. I'm not in that section. Knox, you said, hold on, what is going to play here? We'll do this again. The blueprints are for the tabernacle that they're building. So that's what they call the tent of meeting, the tabernacle. This is the place where God is making a tent. They're making a tent for God where there's going to be certain lampstands in it. There's going to be different, they're going to build the Ark of the Covenant. All those things are the blueprints. So this is engineering blueprints. These are the instructions of how you're supposed to build them. That's what we skipped over today in the readings. And then in 31 it says these are the things. The ephod, so they're going to wear like breast pieces. The priests are going to wear breast pieces with different stones on them. And there's instructions on what color stones they're supposed to do. Can we read? Yeah, you can read some of that. That's all in Exodus. You can go back and read Exodus 25 through 30. That is, you can read it. It's just not a story, so I'm skipping. You hear the stories because I just like the story parts. That's what I've been. That's what I'm reading right now. Maybe someday we'll read the entire thing, but this year, for whatever this journey lasts us until we finish the stories. That's the journey that we're on here. All right, so happy new week. It's Sunday. I hope you guys have a great day today. I hope I will be on later. For those who haven't heard yet, I know I've been saying about this. My mother-in-law was really sick. My wife has been down there. She did pass away on Thursday after the reading, Thursday afternoon. So that it delayed my wife coming back. So my wife's coming back hopefully Wednesday now. So it's been a long journey this week, and I had Pinewood Derby races yesterday with my kids for the Cub Scouts. So building these cars and doing all that, I crashed hard yesterday, man. I think I fell asleep at 6 o'clock in the evening and basically was asleep. I didn't even put my kids to bed. I don't know what happened in my house. I was just so tired. All the adrenaline finally just caught up with me, and it was time for a good catch up of sleep. So I actually didn't miss much sleep. I got extra sleep last night. I hope my kids got to sleep okay. But they're pretty good, so I think they did all right. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a tough little season and journey for us, but yeah, I'm glad. You know what? In God's mercy and favor and grace, she went a lot quicker than was expected, which is harder for us left behind, but definitely uh, better better in the long run for everyone. Nobody wants somebody to just constantly suffer for a long time at the end of life. It's just it's not nobody wants that. So uh yeah, so it was a blessing. It was a blessing that it kind of just the end came a lot quicker. It was super a blessing that we got to go a few weeks ago and spend some time with her in Florida before she passed. So we'll just always remember that. So thank you for all your kind words there. Thank you for that. Thank you for your kind words there, Aaron. Aaron the priest, giving us the kind words there. We appreciate it. All right. With that said, thank you guys for being here. I will maybe be back on later for a poker stream today. Otherwise, we'll be back Tuesday morning to continue the story in Exodus. I don't know how many chapters are in here. Let me see. Let's see. How much longer are we probably going to be in here? Only 5 more chapters. And we might be skipping a lot of it again. So we might be in the book of Leviticus even on Tuesday. We'll see. So, that said, good to see you all. I love you all. I'm glad you're here. I hope you are blessed today. Have a great day. Have a great week. I hope to see you guys on Tuesday morning or on a future stream. And until then, love one another, love yourself, and, as we learned today, I guess be patient. Be patient. Bye, guys.